Hi, I'm Jim Owens with Performance Strategies Group. And this morning I want to talk to you a little bit about leadership and leadership development programs within your organization. Now, I'm not talking about leadership development programs that are community-based, like Leadership Huntsville, Leadership Birmingham, Leadership Alabama, and the litany of those across the nation that are very effective at connecting people and providing with them the kind of data about issues that are pertinent to their communities. What I'm talking about is within an organization, within a manufacturing company, within a mortgage company, within even a church or an insurance agency. Most of the research that we read and that I've studied indicates that most C-suite executives say that their teams are not prepared to take on the mantle of leadership for the next at the next generation, next iteration, if you will. And I've seen this in many cases in the banking business when you'll find an individual who's been a very successful CEO, who's run a very profitable organization, and then they sell simply because they can't find a successor, which is a little absurd because sometimes I think it's because people believe that no one can possibly succeed them as effectively as the job they've done before, and so they simply sell the organization and manage their own exit that way. But if we really committed to developing talent within an organization, to seeing it remain independent in whatever nature it is and be successful, the leadership development programs that we see are often given a bad rap, and it's because of the way they're structured. There's clearly a need for both a soft and hard skill approach to leadership development. I know in my own experience, I needed, when I joined the banking business with a degree in political science, I needed a lot of help learning finance. And I was fortunate enough to work with an organization that spent a lot of time and money sending me to classes to try and convince me that I could understand accounting and I could understand finance and balance sheets and income statements and whatnot. And I was very fortunate to do that. What they didn't do was teach me anything about how to lead people, about how to motivate them, about how to understand the differences within people, within groups and with teams, and how to get the most effective productivity out of those individuals that I was leading. And so I struggled and I read voraciously and I learned and I failed many times and continue to do that. But it was very useful for me to collect all this knowledge and things. And so one of the things I've also studied recently is what makes for a successful leadership development program. Well, typically those that are the most effective include the tying together of both hard skills. Maybe it's finance, maybe it's operations management, maybe it's a number of other things related to a specific task within your organization, to having those skill sets. And in fact, that's usually what people say they'd like to have the most as employees when they want to develop in their roles. The other thing they say is they want more leadership skills. And so that's the soft skills side of things. So successful programs will also teach people things like interpersonal relationships and the difference in behavioral styles and sales skills and other things about conflict resolution that are important for their success as a whole. And when we tie those things together and we do that in the context of the organization's values and objectives, we can have a very productive and successful leadership development program. One that actually gets you a return on an investment that you want, rather than the stand-up training sorts of things where people, I liken it to the rubber band analogy, right? I probably used this on videos before, but you pull the rubber band taut, and the minute you take the tension off of it, the rubber band goes right back to where it was before. And so that's what stand-up training can be sometimes in these organizations. They have value, they're just not the most effective use of your dollar if you're trying to develop leaders for the future. So we tie those things together, and there are a couple of very effective ways in which we can do these leadership development tasks that don't require a ton of time out of your work life, out of the productive, so to speak, part of your organization's activities. You can do them through a couple of things that I like to do. One is which is maybe an hour to an hour and a half long lunch and learn, so to speak, in which you'll have a particular value or a particular success or maybe even a failure within your organization, and you'll do a post-mortem discussion of those things about what went wrong, what went well, what would you do differently, what do you need to do more, better, less of in those cases, and really take the time to do that. And the reason that CEOs and C-suite execs have a problem with this sometimes is that they are so engaged in the execution of tactical strategies within their organizations to hit their EPS or quarterly earnings numbers or whatever it might be, that they simply don't have the time, and nor do their teams. They're worried about taking them out of the workforce for 3 or 4 or 5 days a week or something like that, which they don't really have to do. The other way to do it is by taking a group of people who are successful in an organization, by whatever that definition is, and hosting roundtable dialogue, maybe 2 or 3 hours, where a group of people come together and hear from other individuals, again, talking about particular successes or failures or the values within their organizations, or simply how they lead and what they've learned by their successes and failures throughout the process. So this becomes a very effective, cost-effective way to ensure that the leadership things that you want, the skill set, the things you want manifest in the people that you want to take on the mantle of leadership in the future or grow in place. These are the kind of things we can do in a very cost-effective manner. Now, if you'd like to know more about the kind of work we do at Performance Strategies Group, including using the Work of Leaders behavioral profile and our 360-degree assessments, we'd be happy to talk to you. You can find us on the web at www.performancestrategiesgrouponline.com. You can find us on Facebook at PSG.org.dev, that's O-R-G-D-E-V. And you can find us on LinkedIn by the same name, Performance Strategies Group. And you can also find my webpage or my LinkedIn profile there. And there's some videos there that you may not have seen before, both on Facebook and on LinkedIn, that might be useful to you. So if you'd like me to come speak to your organization over a staff meeting or something of that nature, I'd be happy to come do that. Just reach out to me. I'll look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon.